should have like a sippy cup.
I could get you one of those.
No, it's fine.
Get you one.
Hello YouTube, Beat Through Your Back, another kicking. That's my little foot too. My little work socks. Graphic novel, trade, comic book review. We got a pretty recent one today. So that Rebirth Gucci, Superman Volume 2, Trials of the Super Son.
We've been waiting a while for this one too, because we did the first one early on in our reviewing history.
Yeah, I've read this one a couple times. It was fun. It was a fun little book.
I can tell actually a little bit from the spine. You can see you've cracked it open a couple times.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, that's
I like how they designed the crease so it doesn't mess up.
It's really nice attention to detail there.
Yeah, because the individual books can't do that because they're so small.
So,
but yeah, it's just 4 little stories, and they're precious. Like bringing this happier Superman in and giving him this family dynamic really makes him interesting and relatable. Because lots of people say Superman's hard to relate to because he's so powerful.
I mean, he's a god among men.
Yeah, but his personality-wise, he's like super relatable though.
Well, and early in his conception, he was supposed to be this fish out of water trying to be and do something that, that was different than what he was born to and fitting in when you don't.
Yeah.
So, like...
Didn't have half his powers back then.
Yeah, exactly. So now
fly.
He's kind of gotten away a little bit from his core concept that made him relatable, I think.
Yeah, but he's like the original superhero, so they've been trying to up the bar with him for over what? Since the late 30s. Yeah, it's like 38. I think he was made in 38, I want to say.
Wow, so I mean that's 80 years right there, almost exactly 80 years.
Yeah, but Superman spends like his whole day helping out all his Justice League peeps, and he takes his family to the fair, and he's like, "No Superman stuff, promise."
I promise never works out.
He does Superman stuff. He stops some people, and it was a fun little. Like there's no action in it at all,
and no stakes.
It's so fun and happy, and it's just a very enjoyable little read.
You kind of have to have some of this mixed in with all the big world-saving, timeline-saving stuff.
Yeah, because Superman stories have to be huge. They have to be world-threatening, because
otherwise that's the only thing that justifies Superman's involvement.
Yeah, so it's just nice that they're just taking their time establishing his family dynamic and stuff, which is great. His son John's great. This Lois is great because the New 52 one was fucker. And I'm just saying, she freaking outed Clark Kent as Superman.
Yeah, it did happen, didn't it? That was a little cringy. But
yeah, so that's just a short one. That's like a single issue.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's helping John with a science fair project that looks a little too high tech to be a science fair project.
They are Kryptonians.
Yeah, I guess so. And then they get teleported to like Skull Island, but without Kong, basically. Except there is kind of a Kong thing there. There's this big albino giant gorilla thing.
So, Pseudo-Kong.
Yeah, and it has like the same tech in its eye that the Kraken had in its eye, or the big giant squid did in Volume 1. So that's going somewhere.
Yay! Consistent plot threads.
Mm-hmm. He and John get stuck there, and they bring the losers into the main Marvel universe in this story. And they were like in World War II. You know the losers? You know about them?
Vaguely.
They had a movie.
I don't think I actually saw the movie then.
Captain America was in it. Is his fucking name Chris?
Chris Evans?
Yeah, it's hard to remember their last names because there's like 20 Chris's.
You got Chris Pratt, Chris Hemsworth, Chris Evans. Khan. Okay.
All those white Chris actors. It's hard to remember.
And they're all just painfully attractive white men.
They mostly look pretty similar a lot of the time too. It's hard to remember, but yeah, so they're fighting like dinosaurs there.
Which is pretty fun. I mean, like, watching Superman fight a dinosaur.
Yeah, and Crypto. But
I love Crypto.
Crypto's with him.
Fucking love Crypto.
So fun. But yeah, so like the last remaining of the losers is there. And he has a chance to go back to the world with them, but he stays there. He's like, this is all I've known for decades. I can't.
He's got that Stockholm Syndrome going.
Yeah, he wouldn't. Like, going to the real world for him now
would
be like
shock.
ending up on that island.
Yeah, all over again.
Yeah, he wouldn't be able to do it.
But he would be able to shit into a toilet that flushed.
That's pretty dope.
Just saying.
Oh, man. But yeah, that's just a fun little story. You get to watch them fight dinosaurs and giant apes.
I figured that Kong, the albino great ape thing is about as close as they can get to Kong without copyright infringement.
Of course, yeah.
I feel like that's exactly what it was intended to be.
For sure, of course. That's why they had to make him albino.
Yeah, exactly.
But then the next story is about John, the Superboy, and they meet Batman and Damian.
Ooh.
Fucking little
Little shit-stained
little
Damian.
asshole.
I hate Damian. I really do hate Damian Wayne.
Yeah, Damian's got his friend Nobody and Goliath, and they basically attack Superboy, but he does burn up a lot of the swamp with his heat vision that he can't control.
Yeah, his whole genetic destabilization, powers coming in and out thing is not the best.
Yeah, and then this is going to be a famous panel, I bet you. I bet this is going to be a famous page.
What? Superboy punching the shit out of little
after
Damian?
Damian mocks him for accidentally killing the cat with heat vision in Volume 1.
Mm-hmm.
He just fucking...
BAM!
Right in the pussy.
Decks him! Cockshot!
Oh, God. Yeah, right in the gut there. Just fucking slams Damian. And then their dads make him, like, go through these trials to kind of prove themselves worthy of their
Super...
mantles, like their Robin and Superboy.
Man, yeah, the mantle. That's literally the best word for it is the mantle.
But yeah, they eventually figure it out. Like, they actually fail all the tests, but then when it comes down to the real thing, they do
pass.
it right. Just this weird rainbow clay.
Yeah, it's like
thing.
Clayface with...
The essence of all those Gotham villains. And very... Like, it's supposed to be an old-timey looking motherfucker.
He definitely has that aesthetic going for him.
But yeah, they beat it pretty much by themselves after it took out Batman and Superman. And then it's like, oh, the Super Sons, because there's a title called Super Sons now, which is their book together. It's the Robin Superboy book.
I like that Alfred's the one who calls it out.
Yeah, fucking Alfred.
I love Alfred.
Man.
He's always the best.
Alfred's best Bat character for sure. But yeah, and then that ends with them all going to chop down Christmas trees, and then Robin and Superboy end up punching and shooting at each other again. Fucking
the last panel is their
Clark,
faces just. Oh god.
I'd lean forward further, but I got water in my lap, so you show them. That's a fucking.
It's just God, these damn kids.
Fucking great. And then the next story is with Frankenstein. Didn't expect that.
Yeah, and he's haunting to look at. To quote a movie.
So Deadpool, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, you said to quote a movie, and I was like, well, now I got to guess the movie.
You got it.
I got it. But Lois goes to get a job at like that local newspaper because
she can't stand not being involved with journalism and doing something.
Yeah, and she's about to be hired by this boss who's also her friend, and then Frankenstein bursts through the goddamn wall to decapitate her. Not to decapitate Lois, to decapitate
the boss.
The boss, who, as it turns out, after Superman chases him down and stuff, is an alien war criminal, hiding in a copy of that woman's skin. She's actually tied up in her own basement. But yeah, Lois steals Frankenstein's vehicle and everything to get away from him. It's actually a fun little story.
I mean, watching Lois actually kind of do cool stuff and not just be a damsel in distress is nice too.
Yeah, Lois Lane's kick ass, dude.
Yeah. I really do enjoy her not being the damsel in distress anymore and getting away from that trope because she defined that superhero trope of the damsel in distress.
Yeah, like early on.
Yeah.
But then she was also the one to define like a strong female side character.
Mm-hmm.
Later, when they changed her up, they were like, if she's going to be a good reporter, she can't be that like
ditzy
that.
and
She's
stupid.
Yeah.
Straight up ditzy and stupid. Like they would have fired her within a week based on some of her early behavior.
Yeah, and that's a Pulitzer Prize winning lady. And then what's that girl's name that Superboy's always hanging out with? I haven't read this in a while. I don't remember.
I can't think of her name actually. But take it back to the farm.
I want to say it's Connie or something, but I think that it's something with a C. I feel like.
Yeah.
Cassie, Connie, something like that. Cassie sound. That might be the cow's name. Actually.
I was reading this when my grandmother fell and broke her hip last week, so I was a little
out of it. Yeah, I should remember because I've read this and Volume 1 twice and Volume 3 once. She's not in Volume 3 though. It's bothering me, man.
All right, what's the verdict?
It's Kathy.
Kathy. Okay.
So not a C.
A K.
But they make the same noise, so fuck it.
That fricative.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure her grandpa is figuring out that Clark and Supes are the same person. Like the way he just looks at him and stuff.
I mean,
I think he knows it because he saw John in that accident and then be totally fine. That stuff.
I mean, anybody with 3 brain cells and a little exposure to Clark Kent should figure it out.
And then, I feel like the people in his life would know, but like just other people around wouldn't be able to figure it But Lois punches that alien in the fucking face.
Where's my friend?
Yeah. Then the Bride of Frankenstein shows up. I actually haven't seen her in comics before.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for real. I didn't know anything about her till this book. So she fights Frankenstein. Apparently their son died, and that's why they broke up and stuff. And they all go and they fight the alien. And they beat the alien.
Yay!
And it's a fun little team up.
It is.
You know, for Frankenstein, which is a character I don't see them use much since he had a solo title like at the beginning of the New 52.
Really?
Yeah. I just haven't seen him in a while. But then I think like them talking about their dead son and their divorce and stuff really makes Clark and Lois appreciate their family by the end. The last couple pages, no
very
dialogue.
touching scene.
It's just them touching,
tucking.
Not touching John in his
bad
bed.
touch.
Tucking John into his bed. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to say that.
That was almost pretty bad there.
But it's just a fun, nice,
4 short
uplifting
stories.
book.
Yeah.
You don't have to, like, you can just read a little story and take a break. Read a little story, take a break. That's usually what I did. That's usually what I do when there's multiple stories in the book.
Very nice and low key. It's a good switch from some of the other higher and more stressful stuff that we might be talking about in the near future.
Oh, Flashpoint. Line-wide event. Continuity change.
But I think that's pretty much all to say about Superman.
Yeah, Volume 2, Trials of the Super Son. Good, solid book.
Very
Rebirth
solid.
Superman is what Superman's supposed to be. Fuck. New 52 Superman is what Superman's supposed to be.
It's very enjoyable. Very happy and uplifting.
Breathed a whole new life into Superman. Because I didn't like New 52 Superman, period.
Yeah, I think we've discussed that a few times on this.
Several times. Almost every time we read a Superman book.
Yeah. You talk about how much you hated him. So, it was a really good story. Go check it out, guys.
Yeah, very fun book.
Heartwarming, in fact.
Yeah. I love this lighter tone Rebirth's going for. That's what DC used to be known for.
Getting away from the Christopher Nolan syndrome.
Getting away from the Dark Knight Returns syndrome. They've been trying to stay dark since like the 80s.
Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, that too. That didn't help. That
yeah,
really,
the massive success of those movies.
That really pushed it forward, that dark agenda.
We can make money doing this.
Next time, what are we going to have?
Dark.
Flashpoint.
Oh,
yeah.
guys.
It's
so good.
It's a good book, but at the same time, it also created the New 52, so was it worth it?
Oh!
Lots of people would say no. But yeah, this is one of like the more popular Flash stories from like the past decade.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it got a movie made out of it, and then I watched the movie before we ever started doing these.
Yeah, because there's that animated movie, and then the live-action movie is going to be called Flashpoint.
Okay.
Hopefully it's not the same story, honestly.
You think they should change it up a little bit?
Yeah, because like, we have this, we've seen the animated one. Everyone knows this. They did a Flashpoint arc in the Flash TV show.
Yeah, they did.
Season 3.
Well, we'll talk about it when we get there.
Yeah, we'll just, sorry. Fuck.
No, you're good. It's my Aquaman thing coming in. I just see it starting.
It's me, man. I do that too.
Everybody does it. But we got a whole video to talk about in a second.
I'm a child. But yeah, that's
He's
it.
got a drinking problem. How many references can I make?
Yeah, how many can I notice is the riff.
You've caught them all so far.
Yeah.
So,
but that's it. Flashpoint's next. This has been Superman Volume 2. This is not Superman Volume 2. This is Superman Volume 2. We're covered in books. But that's it. Thank you all once again. I'll see you all later.
Bye, guys.